were saying, well, this is what, spring last year?
Spring last year, I started planting the system here, and was out contracting, and coronavirus hit, blah blah blah. So I was just running loads and loads of compost all over the place. So 2 hours a week I spent on the systems up here. We've just got Lewis in, a helper, which is great, and we're just about to shift the whole bank into market garden production in between the agroforestry rows.
Yeah.
We've just got the top terraces here, which are primary for vegetable cultivation.
Yep.
Just in the middle of being made and reset. And we have the first tree row, which is the eucalyptus with pineapples on the front edge. We got a little bit of lab and daikon in there.
Yep.
Still cycling. An odd banana in there, but we've got mulberries, carob and native peanut in between the eucalyptus.
Yeah, so this is the agroforest process
you're
doing here.
So this is the agroforest line.
Yep.
This was the oldest line. This was built 12 months ago.
Yeah.
This was built on the 3rd of the 9th, 20, so it's about...
just on 12 months ago, just over 12 months.
So that line, and then in between, we're just pulling out, harvesting the garlic, which is the ground cover crop of the next row, and then we have mulberries, blue Java bananas, grimy charmers, papaya, black pomegranate, lamandra on the front edge. We're just about to shift the production back over to turmeric. I'm going to hit turmeric on here. There's quite a lot of turmeric sitting underneath the systems.
Okay.
That's still developing. And then the line below is the big vein, which is the mid-rib of the system, which is the water harvesting structure. It goes up at the house pad. It's all impervious. We've structured it with a small bund around the outside so the water doesn't drop off the edge and erode.
Yep.
It pushes through the narrow driveway here, hits this grass buffer, which is a sediment trap.
Yep.
Nice, and sheets across here, hits that swale, runs out, hits the toe, fills up, and then pushes back out this way and goes down into the system. It then goes down into the keyline swale, which rips out into the keyline. So it's a way of dealing with, the massive amounts of water that we do get out here. So
you're handling the water, so you're not going to lose erosion. You're not going to. It's not going to all of a sudden wash all your nutrient away.
That's it. Yeah. Slow and catching. They sit here for, they've only filled up once in the big rains we had. So but they're designed to dissipate that energy and protect the system, cash crop system down the bottom. So all of this system I see on the slope is a way to stabilise the slope, because we are prone to slips.
To slippage,
in here, and we've had slippage here in the past. I think maybe when they ploughed the whole thing and then got 10 inches of rain or whatever it was.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Everything all ends up down the bottom.
Yeah, so pretty much. So we're looking at sinking in the deep tap roots, and we're looking at starting to produce the microclimates. Get the tree lines up, get us a bit of an alleyway that we can work with, reduce the wind, keep more moisture in the soil, and then we'll work out what we're going to shift the production into later on. Yeah.
So Kane, a lot of people I know would be looking at the video and looking at this, and they say, well, I can see all this stuff through there, but they see weeds everywhere as well. Do the weeds concern you, or what's your attitude towards it?
Every plant has its place. Weeds don't concern me at all. Weeds is much better than this flimsy grass that doesn't give you any biomass. Yeah. As I said, we're in quite a degraded spot here. So, the thistles have got big tap roots on them, quite broad leaves, so they're flooding other things out, cooling the soil, bringing up minerals, but also they got a large leaf, so they're a solar panel, so they're tapping into more carbon. As well, and we see the purple top over here with the purple flowers. I mean, that's feeding all the insects, all the bees, all the butterflies. It's bringing astrality into the property and bringing down more forces into the ground, which is going to help our crops. But then also it's got a fibrous root system, so stabilizing soils, putting more carbon, and it's freeing things up. So everything is its own place within the system. And wild lettuce, again, it's emergent, hollow stem, breaks down really fast, has a nice tap root. Farmers' friends, they're a bit annoying, but you shouldn't have bare soil, so they're telling us to hurry up and get covered. Everything has its own purpose and place within the system. So to see a weed and to go and spray it or go and have a problem with it, then you're missing the point of the weed. The weed's here to do something, because nothing just pops up for no reason. So it's best to work on that and utilise it. And I mean, you just come through and chip it out and lay it on the ground, and there you have at least 150 mils of compost sitting there.
Well, that's compost, but this, let's say for example, this thistle, being such a thick broadleaf sort of plant, it's going to have water trapped all through that as well. So as it breaks down, it's actually still hydrating.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice and fleshy and juicy.
Yeah,
that's what we want. That's what the biology wants. So
that's it.
It's written down in the Bible. Grow your land for 7 years and then let it rest.
Yeah.
What happens when you let it rest? It's not like we're going to spray. They're not saying grow your land for 7 years and spray it in chemicals, and then give it a beer. They're saying let it rest. And what happens when it rests? All the species come back in. Yeah. Cover crop comes in. So this is all part of the design, mate. So
natural biodiversity.
You can either look at it as a problem or look at it as an asset.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We can push down here. This is the exit point of the swale.
Yep.
We got the yarrow here, which is under all the trees.
Yeah.
So first year we just focused on getting the yarrow in and getting us a harvest. So now we've got enough yarrow to pack the bladders with.
So what's yarrow? What's yarrow, mate?
Yarrow's the 502 prep.
That's the 502.
502.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yarrow flowers and stag bladder.
Yeah.
So we've managed to do that.
Well.
And just, a little bit of cassava on the edges, a windbreak. We've got the eucalyptus every 3 metres.
Yeah.
And then in between the eucalyptus, we have the ice cream bean.
Yeah.
Which is this guy. We can see the stalks, which were actually old sun hemp. So we grew a real thick, dense crop of sun hemp through here.
Yeah.
Because this soil was basically, it was just bare and exposed. We're not lugging in mulch, I don't have the time to sort it out, so I just plant the cover crop.
Yep. And
then chop and drop everything. So that's cover you're seeing in there.
It's all broken. It's all breaking down there.
Yep, nice thick woody stuff. We got the tomatoes, blueberry tomatoes just in here as a ground cover.
These are amazing.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they?
Have you got to see these? You see the colour on them? Blueberry tomatoes. Incredibly sweet. Beautiful.
We got eucalyptus. We got eucalyptus again here.
Yeah.
A bit of a bad tube stop. And then we got the banana in between. So the banana's just starting to kick on.
Yeah. The pigeon pea for more chop and drop.
Yep, pigeon peas everywhere. And then we have the same pattern again, eucalyptus, and ice cream bean. The tomatoes were just put in here primarily as a ground cover, just to cover the ground in this section, because I ran out of turmeric seed. And then this bed, potatoes have already come and gone, so we're going to basically switch this over to capsicum. So we're going to put some capsicum crops in there, and then we're going to cultivate below. So this is the next stage, is we're going to cultivate pretty much all the open space here, and we're going to actually open up the farm shed 8 to 11.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to start a little produce up there as well. So
fantastic.
My previous experience is certified organic market gardening.
Yeah.
So we were producing 45 different crops on a few acres of land, and we'd open up the shed and sell a lot of salads and kales and veggies. So we're going to open up here, and we're going to start selling veg. And
all right. Well, you got to keep an eye out for that. That's obviously going to be over your website and your socials when it all starts.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it up. Good BD food. So we see this as the system, but we also have other things developing under here. You know, we got the daikon here, but we got avocados in here. You can see here.
Yeah.
So that's an avocado tree all planted by seed. You just chuck the seed in and forget about it. Trees like to come up in a wild environment. They got that protection, so they can push through.
Yeah.
But there's no stress on that front. Custard apples and soursop seedlings in there. We can see under this eucalyptus, we have a custard
apple.
Yep, in there.
Beautiful.
So he's just developing, kicking away. And because it's planted by seed, it's extremely drought resistant. Otherwise, that and the avocado both would be dead already. This is an agroforestry bed, another unirrigated bed. We've got eucalyptus, and then we've got lemon myrtle.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus, and then we have Japanese orange underneath these oats.
Yeah.
And we have another Japanese orange. And under here, that was hanging out in the nasturtiums, and then the nasturtium died off from a bit of frost. He came through. We got lemongrass on the upper side, and we've got vetiver grass on the lower side, and then we've got arrow roots in between.
Yeah.
We've also got mushrooms in the ground here, so we planted King's Treforia mushrooms.
Yeah.
And we got probably a couple of kilos off the first flush, which was really good.
With no irrigation?
No irrigation, but I'm going to set up irrigation. Got my irrigation row up there and ready to go, so it'd be really good to get some water into these beds and get them up to health.
Yeah.
We can see here there's a nice bead of grass and weeds, which has really just been brush cut and pushed into the edge of the row.
Yeah.
Just to help close off that edge and give it some organic matter and some protection from the sun. And there's another Japanese orange here. And there's actually some garlic that was cropped in here. This is part of a workshop, but if we actually scratch into there, we can see, well, we can see little bits of garlic, but all of that in there is the mycelium King's Treforia mushroom.
Yeah.
That's not just the standard, mycelium running around in there. That's actually an edible mushroom. By ripping all that out, you're aerating the bed again, so it's ready to go. The no-till way of doing it. Yeah. It does look like it's really up.
Yeah.
So we've left it in over winter. It hasn't rotted, and look, we can see the eyes are ready to go again. So we wanted to see that mainly because we're thinking that when it dies off in winter, this one didn't die off because it had all this cover, but when it dies off in winter, we'll come back behind and we'll plant garlic over the top of it.
Yeah.
Get a garlic crop in, dig a garlic up now, free up the space, and then out comes the turmeric. It's wild, but it's organised. Let's go down to the real organised part.
The organised bit.
It's glowing, isn't it?
It sure is.
That's proper BD glow right there.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
It's nice, isn't it? So this is.
I don't know if it's going to tell the difference. We'll try and do it through the camera. So I'll try and see if the camera can look through here to see the difference in that glow.
So this is a ginger system. We planted August 13th, I think.
Yeah.
13th to 20th. So basically we see this, that's all wild, that's how we want it.
Yep.
And then we've got this one berm here, which is a swale. We've got bananas on there, white cedars, a few different fruit trees. We just smashed some mulberry cuttings in and some ice cream bean cuttings. So we have that as a tree row.
Yeah.
Then the bed down from it is not a tree row. And then the second bed, which is here, is a tree row.
Can you see more?
Not a tree row with the bananas in it. So every second bed is a tree row.
Yep.
We got the ice cream bean every 3 meters.
Yeah.
One there and one here. We got this pigeon pea, papaya.
Yeah.
So we've got papaya and pigeon pea as the main trees. We've got the papaya as the emergent. We've got the ice cream bean as the kind of high, and then we got the pigeon pea as the medium to low shrub layer.
Yeah.
And then we have the ginger. 1, 2, 3 rows of ginger in this system. And then above it, we have, it's not a tree row, it's a popcorn row. So we got popcorn in there, going all through there, with the Christian homeschool down the road there.
Yeah.
As part of their crop. Not a popcorn row, and then we have a popcorn row. So you can see here, popcorn, bit of popcorn, bit of popcorn.
You said it was for a homeschooling group?
Yeah,
because of course every kid's going to want to grow popcorn.
Yeah. They're my own kids,
Yeah.
I can't justify planting a crop that big of eating corn, but popcorn, we can work with that.
That's it.
So in this system, obviously completely different to conventional, but we have cover crops in the walkways, we have cover crops in the bed. Main cover crop system inside the actual bed itself is daikon radish, which is this plant, and lucerne, which is a little legume underneath it, which is going to grow to a bush. And the main purpose of that is to flood out the bed, because we see here, dry, and hot.
That's it. Whereas this
we walk in, I'm going to get the camera in on this one. We come into the density.
This is so lush in here.
Yeah. There's buckwheat in the Ioway cover crops as well.
Yeah.
You can see all the bugs just zooming around.
Love it.
But if we actually dig in here, you can feel instantly it's
straight
cooler.
away.
And just that surface, careful don't dig too deep,
No,
dig up the ginger. So we can see in there, it's that, nice and moist. So we're trying to kick the canopy of the daikon over. That daikon's got a huge root, just taps into the soil. And then when it's time and we want to free up the space for the ginger, we come through and we just chop the daikon with the machete. That drops down and gives it that nice fleshy biomass, protects the ginger, feeds the ginger, and then that big root will break down and long-term feed the ginger. And our mix on the surface is a bit like a hugel mix, so we've got large chunks of wood in here. It's a fermented compost that we mix in with rough cut wood and wood chips, so that 9 months this ginger crop's going to be in the ground, so it does have some nice food to feed on, and it's got that fungal element in there as well. So that's popcorn coming out, wind breaking, daikon working with it, the lucerne's adding the nitrogen to the system. We got the Mombasa grass, we got the daikon, lucerne and wildflowers and amaranth. We've got amaranth and buckwheat in the walkways. And that's all just to produce organic matter for the bed. I'm 50-50 whether I come through here, mow it all down finely, come through the little rotary hoe, whiz it all up, gently incorporate it, and then sow a proper wheat crop into. And grow some wheat in the aisleways, but just to harvest wheat to mix in with our salads and for the homeschool and whatnot. But I'll see how it goes. So, and then the blue javas were planted in here. Got them off a friend, so they've been planted a little while ago, so they're just dropping back in and growing their roots, and then they'll pop back out. But this system was a hard cloddy system. Hard clods in the soil. But if we just dig into a bit of soil and have a look, I can dig a handful in there. Just gently pull that out. And we just see that beautiful friable clay.
That's it.
That was rock hard clods before.
It's not cloddy anymore.
So that's basically what we did here. Was we had the existing grass in this section, we had a cover crop in the next section. Well, we flail mowed that down or hit it with the whippersnippers, got it real fine 2 days before the full moon, new moon, sorry. And what that done was it stunted the plant, it attacked the plant, it killed the plant, most of the plants. And then we whizzed over it very shallowly with the rotary hoe, just to kill any vegetation in the bed. Dry that out in the sun for a few days, hit it again, dry it out in the sun for a few days, fully kill the vegetation. And then we came through with the deep rippers, we ripped it, we opened it up, we pumped it with the BD compost, the Morpheus blend. We also sprayed with the combination prep, and then we gently worked that in. Leveled it off a bit there, waited about 5 days for any weed sprouts to sprout up, and then we came and just raked the beds, kind of killed that, planted our ginger seed, and then mulched over the top. So that's what we're seeing here. So we basically turned all that organic matter into the ground and turned it into compost in the ground, fed all the worms. We were planting these trees earlier, and we were digging up worms, and there was even fungal threads in there, because in the tree lines with the papaya seed, I also seeded in the King Strophoria grain spawn. So we actually sowed mushroom spawn in here. Same spawn as the bed up in the agroforestry section. And as I was digging up the trees, I did see some nice, some hyphae start to spread through the bed. So we're looking at a pretty good harvest of mushroom spawn here too. But one of the mistakes I made in this particular system in the tree row, we see here this is soybean. So the soybean was supposed to be boom, 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 boom through the whole entire bed. The seed didn't really come up. So I was having a look at the soybean, and it looks like it was struggling to push through the soil, where the pigeon pea and the beans, they don't care, they come right up through it. So I think that's either the problem, or it was just bad seed. Warmth isn't the problem, because it's quite warm ground, and because we opened it up early winter, it captured a lot of warmth into the ground, being all open and exposed, so it condensed that heat, corns and that came up straight away. So in this, that was a mistake in this row, relying on a soybean as the emergent protecting crop, like the daikons in our interrows. So what we've done to remedy that is we literally, because there was quite, a few weeds sprouting in here, we came through the stirrup hoe, took all the weeds out in between. Wasn't much in the ginger because it's mulched, but we took all the weeds out, and then we came back through with the cover crop mix. In our cover crop mix, we had clovers, lucerne, pigeon pea trees, just to thicken up the pigeon peas. And we had papayas in there as well. So just stirrup hoed it, killed it, and also sowed the dense cover crop at the same time, and put the daikon radish in with that. So if we walk down the back here, we'll go and check that out. And the water processing system from that roadside industrial, you know, it's a house pad.
Yep.
Contractors came in and built the drain, pretty much, you know. But what I've done is I've dug a terraced pit at the end that catches all that overflow, processes it, and it drops out into this terrace, and this terrace comes all the way out here. It's basically a swale terrace.
Yeah.
Fills up and then pushes out the end. So we're trying to catch and stretch the water up into the fields as much as we can.
Not lose everything, not waste anything.
Yeah, tap in as much energy as we can.
Yeah.
So we'll walk through the beautiful crunchy system.
Yeah.
So that, what you're seeing, that micro canopy expression on the bed and the moisture and whatnot, that's going to be what these tree rows bring in 6 to 8 months. You know, the popcorn and then tree rows, you're going to have that extra moisture on the surface. And we're trying, you know, papaya, ginger, ice cream bean, we're trying to keep the same, you know, ginger's a rainforest plant, we're trying to keep that biome together, and we're trying to stimulate it to grow in that one linked system.
Yeah, but you are creating its own microclimate here.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So in the middle, we have a big buffer. We've got daikon radishes, you've got wildflower, amaranth, lucerne, all sorts of different beneficial insect mixes, sunflowers, just everything. So this is big mid hub. Yeah. We've got mid hub, and then on the terrace, the water harvesting terrace, we got another mix on there, and that's just habitat for all the beneficials. So we've got perennial wildflowers and that in here. Yeah. They can come and hang out in here, live, do their thing, and then venture out in the system and take care of any bugs that are out there. Yeah. Then this is the back half of the system, just before the pigeon pea forest. We've actually ran out of ginger seed in these 2 rows, so what I've done is I pushed some bok choys in here, some shallots, and some capsicums. 1, 2, 3 rows of capsicum as that main crop. Bok choy is a quick pop out, rocket, just to feed ourselves basically. Do you like rocket?
Love rocket.
Walk around and come and have a little taste of this.
Oh yeah. That's a full leaf, that's a fleshy leaf, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dense, isn't it?
It's dense. And then you get that peppery hit right at the end.
Get a nice ride.
You do, it follows it. It's great.
Yeah, so it's got some bok choys here. We're not selling these or anything, so pick one out if you want. And take a few bok choys home.
Take a couple, yeah.
Mainly just capsicum rows in here. We'll probably sell the capsicums, but it's good to have a look at the root structure. You can see that's a perfectly developed taproot. It's holding on to all of this. It's got really nice biotic glues forming everything together. And that's when you know you've got a good biodynamic plant. It's got stable, uniform, kind of balanced, structured root system like that. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
Bok choy, you know, it's that same juicy but well developed.
Well, it's just that, I guess it's that full watery plant.
They are. So that's the main cash croppy system. We're building another one of these over the other side of the driveway in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah.
Biodynamic agroforestry. Yeah. Mate, this is brilliant. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Come down, mate.
I don't even need dinner now, it's great.